I'll start this out by saying that the firefighters who need us the most are not knocking on our door in our office. The firefighters who need us most are not calling our cell phones. And the firefighters who need us most are not stepping up and raising their hand and going, I need help. They won't come to us. Well, most won't come to us unless they're like really, really bad. But those that need us the most won't come to us until we come to them first. So, like Joe said, my name is Chris Cottle. My guys call me Chappie. You can call me whatever you want. I'm a driver engineer since 2016. Been in the fire service 22 years. And I was just talking to Forrest, and back whenever I started, there was 2 stations. Now there's 7. So I've seen a lot come and go. But in 2019, God felt that it was my calling to be the fire department chaplain, and I look like this, and I don't get accepted most places that I go except for here. So I understand what it's like to sit in a recliner at the station and see the guys. I understand what it's like to walk in and do a station visit and see the guys not responding to me whenever I'm talking to them, because what are they doing? They're sitting on their phones and they're scrolling. Why are they doing that? So I had to start asking myself multiple questions, and we'll get to those in a minute. But we've all seen it, or at least most of us have seen it, where you go into a station and no matter what time of day it is, they're either at the kitchen table or they're in a recliner or a chair, and they got their hats pulled down, they got their hoodies up if you guys are allowed to wear them, and they're scrolling. You'll have 3 of them in a row, and it looks like they're all texting each other. No one's talking, no one's communicating. Like you guys were talking about yesterday with your intentional collisions, it's not happening unless we make it happen. Like you guys are doing, sounds like a fantastic job. But they're just scrolling and they're not engaging. And for us to be a chaplain standing in the day room, they see us, but they're not connecting with us. They're not engaging with us. I forgot this clicker thing. You said up? Up means down. Nope. Down means up. You pointed me in the wrong direction, literally. So, our job is to do what? Meet firefighters where they are. Just like when we find somebody who needs God, where do we find them? We find them where they are. They don't have to get cleaned up before they come to church. That's not the point. So we have Wayne talked about it last night, about presence. Presence does not equal access. I can stand in this room on this stage and not say a word, and you guys are just going to stare at me awkwardly until I leave. I'm present, but I'm not connecting, I'm not engaging, I'm not saying anything. We can go in there and we can talk and we can do our best to connect, but it's a 2-way street. They have to want to connect. The tradition model for chaplaincy is we do 3 things. We show up, we make ourselves available, and we provide resources. I write newsletters, I do all kinds of stuff. I give them as many resources as they can possibly handle. Down means up. Yes. So, what if we could show up where they already are? And I'm not talking about necessarily physically. If you have a firefighter who is a 20-plus year firefighter who's never spoken to the chaplain a day in their life, and you walk in the room and you're like, hey, my name is so-and-so and I'm the chaplain, do they care? No. If you got that, put them in whatever bracket you want to, person in the recliner or at the table scrolling on their phone with their hoodie pulled down and their hat on, are they connecting with you? They don't really care. They probably don't even know you're there. They're so focused in on their phones. So why is all this important? Because they're avoiding the risk that's associated with connecting. There's a risk with being seen talking to us. Whether you like it or not, there's a risk. There's a risk of being labeled as having mental health issues or whatever the case may be. And there's a risk of consequences. Because what does the fire department reward? Does it reward opening up, sharing all your troubles, and telling everybody that they need to go to therapy like you did? No. It rewards pushing all that junk to the bottom. It rewards being the person that holds steady, and it rewards the people that are unbreakable and don't flinch. So I had to start asking myself the question of, what does chaplaincy assume? Chaplaincy assumes that there's a willingness to interact, and I'm not seeing it. Chaplaincy assumes that there's an emotional cost that they have to manage before they come to us. Because, like we talked about, strength is holding it all together. And excuse me, I got postnasal drip, so I'll be coughing all this whole time. So, and vulnerability is not rewarded. So what do? We go to the stations and we stand awkwardly in the bay or in the day room, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. But the firefighter still stays silent, because there's a realization that I had to have a realization that the wrong question is being asked. Nope, not that one yet. So, yeah, that one. How do we lower the cost of starting the conversation? We have to reframe it. It's not about getting firefighters to talk. It's about making that first step to get them to talk easier. If we can make that first step small enough, safe enough, and anonymous enough, they might just take it. If the cost is low enough, they may engage. So that leads me to an experiment I had, because I'm standing in the day room, I'm watching three, I'll call them firefighters. There's a lieutenant driver. We all know how it works. There's three firefighters sitting in recliners, all next to each other. Looks like they're all texting each other. And I'm standing there for like 3 minutes. I'm like, hey guys. And I get up. So I said to myself, what are they doing? And so I walk around behind them. They're all on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, right? So I say to myself, again, how do I get on their For You page? How do I get in front of where they are right now? So, as a 45-year-old grown adult male, I got in my Jeep and I have a little magnetic phone holder on my dashboard, and I'm driving down the road and I'm like, record. I'm not talking. I'm not doing anything. I'm pondering this exact question. And this was November 1st of last year. Let's see if you guys can see the video. So my first video was 14 seconds long. I felt like a complete idiot when I pushed post. I said, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But like I told you the story in the beginning, when I asked God, what's going on? This was on my heart, that this was something I didn't have the decision, or I didn't have the choice to make. God had already said, jump into it. I had to listen and actually do what he asked me to do. So I posted that video. It says 400 views in the first few days. The first day, I posted it like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because it took me that 14-second video with actually having no idea what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, took me about 10 minutes to make. I posted the video within, so that was at like 2 o'clock, probably by 9 o'clock at night. Guess how many views it had? What'd you say? Way less. 30. 30 views in like 7 hours. I was like, man, I'm doing it. No, I did not say that. I'm like, man, I just wasted 10 minutes of my life and I'm an idiot. But God said, let it stand. So I go to bed. I wake up in the morning. Because what are all the firefighters doing while they're on shift? They come back from a call later in the afternoon, maybe at night, and they're laying in their bed and they're scrolling. So I wake up in the morning. It's got 400 plus views. Somebody told me when I first started doing this, like, you only had 300 views. I'm like, are you smoking crack? How many opportunities? Look at this room right here. How many people's in here, Joe? Probably 60, 70? 300 people I got to speak to. And I didn't have to get up on the stage. And one thing I want to point out, oh, no, there we go. These people, I hope it doesn't play because I don't know how to stop it. But what wound up happening is between the calls, after hours, late at night, these firefighters were going through and they were watching. They were stopping. They saw some idiot with a mustache driving his Jeep, not saying a word, and they sat there for 14 seconds. And they read what was on the screen. And that was simply just a thought in my head at the time. But the posting time aligned with my audience's behavior, and I had to learn that through analytics, which that's a whole other animal. But finding out when your people that are watching your stuff are active, you post an hour before that, and then whenever they get on there, it's like, bam, magically it's in front of their face. But apparently I made something worth stopping for because they kept on coming back. I kept on looking at my view count. My view count was going up on my profile itself. So I would add more videos. And then somebody asked me, they said, one of my guys at work, he goes, hey, I saw you on TikTok. I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, it was great. I really liked it. And I looked and he actually liked it. Like on my phone, he actually liked the video. But he goes, you know, you posted like 10, 15 videos since that video. But what is it that you are willing to do and not willing to do? And so I made this one. It's called Hills I'll Die On as a Fire Chaplain. You know what line people picked up the most out of that? That was the second. The one that mattered most to everyone else or to everyone that was watching that was, you don't have to believe what I believe for me to care about you. And I think as chaplains as a whole, we need to carry that with us and make sure that we're communicating that to our, you don't have to throw things at me. The fruit's in the bag, the rotten tomatoes are back there. But when we go out into the community, when we go out into the firehouses, we need to make sure that our firefighters and our people know that they don't have to believe the same exact thing that I believe in order for me to genuinely care about them. But like this video up here says, this video got 17,000 views in 2 days. And it was only like a couple weeks after I started doing this. I had 300 followers. I went from like 60. You got to break certain limits to be able to do certain things on social media, but I went from like 60 to like 300. I was like, yes, I made it. And then I got a little bit more and a little bit more. And this whole thing is not about being TikTok famous or popular. It's a necessity that I'm finding is one way to be able to contact our firefighters. But look at the content that I just showed you. Two examples, and those are only 2 examples I'm going to show you. If you want more, you got to go follow. But the content felt real to whoever was watching because I have the direct messages to back that up, and it wasn't preachy because my job's not to preach at these people. My job is to simply open a door and allow the conversations to begin. But there's also no physical presence. I'm not standing there hawking them while they're playing on their phones in the day room. It's easy, it's safe, it's simple. When they're thumbing through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever other thing I may or may not be on, I just pop up. They have a choice to make. Do they stay or do they scroll on? But it gives us an opportunity. So these are some of the direct messages I received. I'm going to read a couple of them to you real quick. But the one on the left was one that kind of hit me a little hard. It says, he's a 50-year-old man, been a firefighter since he was 20. Quick math, 30 years. He came across my page somehow and started watching the videos. And for the first time in 30 years of doing this job, he broke down and started crying. Every death, accident, fire call was pouring out of him with every tear. And I've had to bleep that out for you guys. But he said that he needed that. And then this one up here in the middle. I'm currently training to become a chaplain. I've never felt a calling so strong, but I've never met another chaplain. Where is this guy? So, I've been working with him through direct messages, trying to get him hooked up with the Federation, get him hooked up with any other chaplain that may be in his locality. And then this one here, where's she at? Oh, I left it off. I apologize. There's one on there that she told me she appreciated what I was doing, but she would never step foot in her chaplain's office. And I guarantee you, every single one of us sitting here in the department we represent, we've got at least one of those. But she came out and she goes, I like what you got to say. Because you're not pushy. You're not forcing anything down my throat. You're not telling me what I have to do to come and see you. And so we've been having conversations. So part of this is you have to, like I said before, you have to create boundaries. So I recorded a video called I'm Not Your Chaplain. I am not their chaplain. I'm not their personal pocket chaplain. I'm not their personal pocket therapist or counselor or anything else. Because I don't want somebody sitting there in the messages waiting for me to respond and they're teetering on the edge. If I do that, I'm doing them a disservice. But what do? They send me messages all the time. I got 2 on the way here this morning. I have a template that I wrote out that pretty much says in short form, I will listen, and I will read every message you send me. But I'm not your chaplain, and I'm not your therapist, and I'm not your counselor. If I feel like you are in a position, I want you to call 988. I want you to talk to your department representation, whatever that looks like. Because me trying to be your person is a disservice to you, and it's a disservice to me. And I cannot, I will not, and I refuse to be that person for you. Because you have to draw a line. But one thing I learned that this is not about the destination. This is not about becoming TikTok famous or anything else. This is about simply creating ways for people to open that door for access. And for instance, Keith, where are you at? I did a TikTok live. And again, I hate that these are coming past my teeth when I say them, so understand this. But I did a TikTok live, and I had a young lady who was going through it. So I have met amazing people, and this one individual, he's a dispatcher out of Philadelphia, and he and I have become fast friends because we both have a knack of saying what people are afraid to say. And so we're in here, we're carrying on, we're having a good time, and this girl pops up, and she starts telling us she's going through it. And we start doing bargain basement, level 1 counseling. And I said, where are you at? Or she goes, where are you at? And I said, Florida. I said, where are you at? She goes, Florida. Okay, I kind of walked into that one. I'm like, give me a county. How about that? There's a lot of counties in Florida. Give me a county. So she gives me a county. And what county do you think that she told me she was in? Levy County. Imagine that. I know a guy in Levy County. So I looked it up, and I gave her the phone number to your station because I didn't want to give out your private information. But I'm like, there's a guy over there. Taller guy, used to be a cop, beard. Now he's a fire department chaplain. Yes, sure. So I told her, I sent her a message. I'm like, go talk to Keith. So far, I talked to Keith. She has not come to talk to him, but she has access. And I explained to her that if she went to Keith, that Keith would do everything in his power to help her out. But that's somebody that she can sit in a chair across from, look in the eye, physically touch in an appropriate way, but physically touch and have presence with. She can't have that with me. She can't have that with most of us because he is in her area. So just to let you guys put you on blast, if I know where you're at and they come to me, I might be sending them your way. Down is up. Yes. So where are my people at when they're not in crisis? I gotta, 1 second, I forgot to do this early on. I can't put it back in there. So where are your people at? Okay, another job. What job? Teaching at the college, construction. Where? Babies. What about babies? Taking care of their kids. That's a crazy thought. Ooh, okay, I like it. You gotta say it with your chest. I'm deaf. Okay, so we'll put that on with family. Okay, well, jobs. All right, well, other jobs. We got fishing, golf. Okay. Pickleball. I knew there was one. One more time. Traveling. Traveling. Okay. Oh, there it is. We'll put that in with family. So TikTok, we'll call that social media, which is not social anymore. And their own thoughts. That's a scary place to be. And their heads. At church. Okay. Partying. I don't know if that's. Forgive me if I'm spelling these wrong. I'm a driver, engineer, firefighter. I break stuff, drive fast. I don't. That's beautiful penmanship. All right, what else we got? Oh, we got golf, pickleball, traveling, church, hard rock. They're gambling, but they don't do that. All right, give me some more physical activities. What are they doing? Going to the gym. Say again. Okay, out in the woods. Well, yeah, we want good things here. Good things. Blacksmith. That is very unique. We'll put that in with blacksmithing. My man up front with the amazing mustache, and it's not me. Yeah, we'll throw that in with family. We'll throw that in with fishing. We're generalizing. The point of this is, what do you guys see up here? It's life, but how many people listed they're in my office? Why? In your presence is your office. Why did nobody say they're in my office? They're in the fire station day room talking with me. Let me get my microphone back out. Some of them are financial. What they're doing on the day off. So, what I want you guys to see here, these are places, and we can fill both sides of this board up. But these are where because you guys named them, I didn't name all of them. This is where your firefighters are. Question is, why aren't you? If I can get on, if a 45-year-old man that looks like this can get on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and make a fool out of himself 187 days straight, that's where I'm at right now. Every single day, 6 o'clock, I'm posting a video. I made 6 videos coming here yesterday, 1 hour and 40 minutes. They're a minute and 12 seconds or a minute and 30 seconds long. It's not hard. But we have to be creative and we have to want to be willing. So you look at this list of things that people are doing, that your people are doing. Why are we not there? Why are we not at the gym? Why are we not out fishing with them? Why are we not playing pickleball with them? I really don't want to be in their heads because that's a sketchy place for me to be in my own. But why are we not out there blacksmithing with them? But part of that is you're not there as a chaplain. Go to the gym and be a gym bro within reason. Go fishing and just be a buddy. Go play golf with them. Don't let them win, but be close. Because like Wayne said last night, silence kills. These guys and gals are sitting in silence and they're dying every single day. And we're allowing it to happen. I'm not saying that to be a jerk. We've gotten accustomed to staying in our bubble, to staying in our office, to staying within the parameters of what some fire chief told me I can and cannot do. If anyone in this room knows me, that is not my style. I ask forgiveness later. I do it first, and if I get in trouble, my bad. I won't do that again, but I'll do a variation of it. But we have to be where our people are. And we have to be there as a person. We don't need to wear our chaplain shirt. We don't need to wear our chaplain hat. We don't need to wear our chaplain badge. We need to build that relationship first before they have a problem, before they have a crisis. Because who am I running to if I'm having a hard time? I'm running to one of my boys, one of my gals. Help me. And if you are one of their people, who are they going to run to? If they already know who you are, and then they know what you do, they have a better chance of coming to you than if they know what you do. And this is a realization I had to have. And now I am that TikTok chaplain that my guys make fun of on a, nicely. But part with that is if you go to Instagram, TikTok, I don't know about Facebook, I haven't done it in a while. But if you go to Instagram or TikTok and you go up in the search bar and you type in hashtag fire chaplain, all one word, guess whose ugly face you see? 8 out of top 10 videos. This one. And I don't say that to beat my chest. I say that because there's an absence of competition. I'm the only one there. I'm the only one making a splash. I'm the only one making noise. So, it would be nice for me if I didn't have to keep getting all these direct messages from people and you guys could share the load. And I'm not telling you guys to go out and download TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever other thing is new and becoming, because that's not the point. The point is, after Joe asked me to do this, I sat down and I really started pondering. Like, I was going to get up there and make this a real fun video. I was going to make this a really interesting presentation. And then it hit me that that's missing the point. The point of being present is being present. No matter what that looks like, how it looks, we have to be where our people are so that they know that we care. If we take time out of our schedule to go to the gym with them, you go to the fire station, you do your station visits, and you go, hey man, you're getting swole. Like, what time do you go to the gym? Oh, when I get off in the morning. Cool. You mind if I come with you? What's the worst that they can say? No. And guess what? How much do nose cost? Nose are free. They don't cost you a dime. That's my saying a lot, is nose are free. I will ask anybody about anything, even if I don't like doing it. Because what's the worst that they can do? No. Oh no, I have free time on my schedule now. But go to your people. Ask them what they're doing. Ask them if you can be a part of it. You go to the play, how long is it? I've never played pickleball. I don't understand it. How long does a game of pickleball take? 30 minutes. Who could possibly spare 30 minutes? That wasn't rhetorical. Most of us can spare 30 minutes. Most of us can spend, hopefully we don't go gambling with them, but you do you, boo-boo. But, I go out and I spend 30 minutes learning how to blacksmith. If I go to Logan, and Logan is like mediocre at best. I'm not saying you are. He's mediocre at best. But I come in there and I'm like, bro, I've never done this before. Can you kind of like show me what's happening? What's he going to do? He's going to light up. He's going to be ecstatic that somebody cares. He's going to want your presence. He's going to trust that you are willing to do what he's telling you to do because he's the subject matter expert in that thing right now. Did I just build a relationship? And then as this continues on, whenever he sets himself on fire or smashes his thumb or whatever it is that blacksmiths do, and I just so happen to be standing there, who's he going to want to talk to? He starts having, you married? Yeah, you got a ring on. Better put a ring on it. But he's got a ring on, so he's married. He starts having marital problems. And we've now set up a schedule to where I'm hanging out with Logan once a month for 30 minutes at a shot. He's teaching me how to become a mediocre at best blacksmith. What do you think is going to come up in conversation as he's angrily pounding that metal? Hopefully not that word, but yes. Man, my wife and I are going through it right now, man. She threw a vase at me the other night. She threw an anvil. Well, those are pretty heavy. She threw something heavy at me, right? But now we have built a rapport. That is the ultimate goal and what I'm trying to communicate to you guys right now. So, when's the last time you guys showed up as a person before you showed up as a chaplain? That's rhetorical. That's for you to answer. What would it look like to show up before the hard moments happen? And that's going to be for every single person in here to kind of ponder to themselves. Something's vibrating and it scared me. What's one space you've been waiting for permission to walk into? That's a you. You got to figure that one out. So all I can tell you is you got to go find your people. You got to be where they are. You got to be where they want you to be. And you got to be accessible as a person, not as a role and not as a position. Because they will trust the person before they trust the position. So we have to go be that person. So all of that